What happened in the first quarter and a half that you didn't get around to doing in the last 2.5 quarters?
Next question.
What happened that sort of reversed the tone of this game?
Next question.
Were you pleased with the defense you played on him, and how did it change when he got going in the third quarter?
It's a good question. Not sure.
So Warriors head coach Steve Kerr was asked about this after his game. He said, "I just feel that we have to be very careful as a league. Fans love the game, the social dynamic, the fashion, but more than anything, they love the connection they feel to the players. I think it's important for the players to understand that it's a key dynamic to the league. I don't think this is a healthy dynamic for this league, for any player, any team, any local media, any national media." Stephen A., do you agree with Steve Kerr on this?
I completely agree with him. I think it's incredibly unfortunate how Russell Westbrook has acted. He's somebody that I like and admire and respect in a lot of different ways. He's a superstar talent. There is no question about that. But he can be a bit abrasive towards folks at times, and clearly that's the case when it comes to Barry Trammell, a columnist in Oklahoma City. It's just uncalled for. And the reason why it's uncalled for is because there are no personal questions here. You're talking about basketball questions being asked. Now, there is history. Back in 2015, Russell Westbrook looked him dead in the face in the media room, in the locker room, in front of the media, and said, "I just don't like you," and what have you. And that was dating back to 2015. There have been times when Kevin Durant was a teammate of Russell Westbrook when he came to the defense of Russell Westbrook, and quite frankly, he deserved it because on a few occasions there may have been people that may have been a bit ultra-critical of Russell Westbrook. But nevertheless, it's about basketball. And I think that one of the things that I try to say to I've tried to say to many players over the years is that we could always ask you something else. We could always get into your personal business and ask you incredibly uncomfortable questions that are absolutely positively none of our business. But you have some reporters who can do that. And the reality is that when you look at today's generation of players, they're so ultra sensitive. It's unreal. It's like the more money they've gotten, the more secure they are, the more sensitive that they've become, and you can't tell them nothing. And it makes no sense. My attitude is any question about the sport you play is in line. It's a basketball question. Anything about your personal life is none of our business. You don't have to answer that. But a question about the sport of basketball should be something that you're obligated to answer. Russell Westbrook signed the largest contract in NBA history at the time for $205 million. The salary kicked in this year. He's getting paid $35 million this year. Part of that is because the NBA has been able to flourish and grow because of media's participation in covering the sport. People have to know that that's the kind of thing that Steve Kerr was alluding to. And I really wish more people heard it, because in a case like LeBron James, who's not playing in this postseason, whatever, let's take a moment to give LeBron James a lot of credit. Highly scrutinized, always there after games, answering questions, and literally answers questions. Now Russell Westbrook has one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life in Paul George saying, "Next question." Off of basketball. That's how bad it's gotten.
Got to answer the question. It's a basketball question. You have to answer it. Now, I disagree, Stephen A., that a reporter can ask about the personal life, like, "Hey, be careful."
No, I didn't say he could.
Because that, if the reporter does that, they're playing themselves. Exactly. If Russell Westbrook doesn't like the way a certain reporter covers him or feels that reporter is being unfair, I understand that. But as long as he's not misquoting him, the reporter can contextualize it. The writer can contextualize it any way he wants. And Westbrook just can't control that, right? So I think Westbrook could do something like answer questions the way Popovich does. So you're kind of answering the question but not really giving the guy anything. But I think he's playing himself when he's like, "Next question." Because he's literally not living up to to his job there, to what, like, part of a basketball player's job is to answer questions at the press conference. So you can say stuff like, when he said, "Oh, that's a good question, I don't know," actually you can get away with that answer. Or you say, "What was the turning point? We just continued to play hard," or something like that. That's all okay. But if you just say, "Next question, you should probably be fined for that because he's asking a question about the game, and you're refusing to talk to that guy, which tells me you have an issue with that reporter, and that's okay. There are ways you can do that, but you can't just sit there and say next question.
Well, there are ways you can do that. You're absolutely right. But I'm just saying to you that, we live in an age right now. It's not just about what Steve Kerr said, and he was absolutely right, Max. Think about how invasive people can be if they really, really wanted to. If they had no class, if they had no decorum, if they just wanted to hate on you and they were out to get you, and the kind of stuff in this day and age you could print and write and talk about when it comes towards someone in the public eye.
But then he could say next question, and we couldn't say anything, right?
Yeah. But all I'm saying is that you want somebody to ask you about basketball because that's what you're doing. Now, anything else, okay, get the hell away from me. But the more questions that you get to answer about basketball, the less you'll ever have to answer about anything else. And that's what you want.